to the computer. I'm going to go ahead and share our last document. And I'm going to start to change date. Can you guys see the document? Perfect. Okay, so who's all here? Is everybody here? Kimberly, Shoshana, yep, everybody's here. I'm going to take off this link because we'll add in the new one. All right, so we've all started following up our categories to get content. So we'll go through, step through where we're at with content. The one thing that I would like to add to this as an action item is when you have something completed, upload it into our Google Drive, okay? So if we could do that. And Daisha, will you describe, because there's an editing document in there too.
So there will be a completed folder. I'll update all those folders in the team drives after this meeting. So as you feel like you've finished a document, an infographic, a presentation, a video, go ahead and put it in the completed folder, and then we can all look through it, kind of give some feedback. Doesn't mean it's your super final draft, but maybe you just want some feedback before your final draft. So there will be that completed folder. And I think we did talk about there's a document already in there, and it says editing document, I think, and that's for you guys to add editing notes, but it also is for the other teams, like the ready and the set teams. They can go into our drive, they can see our work, and they can only add information on that editing document. They can't in any way alter anything else, much like you can go into theirs and see things and put notes on their editing document as well.
And I'd also like to add, thank you, Daisha, I'd also like to add that some are just uploading resources. That's not like, it's not like a document or it's a piece of anything, but like I know Julie just uploaded a whole, I think it was 2 pages of just K-12 videos that entitled what the videos were, that were good videos, go-to resources. So you may see in some of the other folders some resources already there that you can pull to create some of the areas that you are in the middle of creating. Does that make sense? Okay. And I would say, like I know, Heather, you're working on images for assessments and stuff like that, like NWEA, that type of thing. So if we have images, do we want to like create a folder of just images that we all may or may not want to use, like, okay, I'm just being crazy at this point, but like the K-12 logo. Do we want like a resource folder that we all can access with just images that we might need? Like, what is the NWEA logo? What is the, I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a complete, yeah.
Animoto. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea.
I do too. I like that it's organized in a folder, because some of the team drives are like crazy with documents.
Yeah.
Right now. I like them when they're a little more user friendly.
So go ahead.
Can we get some of the new K-12 logos with transparent backgrounds?
I don't know. I could ask. I don't know if I have one.
And also, if Ready, Set, Grow has an official logo with a transparent background, that would be helpful.
I don't even know. Has anybody seen, does the K-12 Ready, Set, Grow have an official logo? I'll ask Jen Arias. I'll probably hear back next fall. Just kidding. That was a very snarky. And I recorded it. Excellent, Liz. That's fantastic. Please don't share this link with anyone. Actually, maybe I should like completely stop and send a new link out. Anyhow, I won't share this with anybody.
I have a question. I noticed that when we upload documents, we cannot delete what we have uploaded.
Yeah, you guys are all able to upload, but only the manager can delete anything. That way, somebody can't accidentally delete your thing.
Oh, that makes sense.
Somebody else's thing. So yeah, you have no deleting powers. If you want something deleted, you can certainly let us know, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So then. Do we want to, Daisha, do you want to just create an image folder? I don't know what we would call it, but
clip art.
Clip art. It's more than clip art. Yeah, images, clip art. I can't spell the word images apparently. Clip art.
And I I can make a deleted folder too, Heather, if that makes more sense, so that if there's something you want deleted, you just throw it in there.
Oh,
and I
put
can
it in a
delete.
deleted folder. That's true.
Okay.
Hey, do we want this image folder on the outside of everybody's, like, or do we want that within just a folder within each Ready, Set, Grow? Because that way, I feel like we only want one image folder that you go to in case you need an image.
Then it would have to be in the Team 1819 drive, because there really isn't an outside area.
You're right, there isn't. That's why I just said that. Did you see the pain in my face? I'm like, I don't think there's an outside area.
I could just make one and then copy it in all three, but then it would be
Perfect.
different if someone uploaded something different. But they all have access to all three, so, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
Unless-
we just create it in one and we let everyone know it's there.
I like that idea rather
I
than.
think
Only
we get
the
it.
problem is then if Heather has an image, she can't upload it unless it's in her Ready, Set, Grow, right?
Correct.
Well, you can put it on the team drive, right? And put just
Yeah.
a generic folder that everybody has access to.
But everybody has access to these Grow, so, you know.
But they don't
Robert
have
can still-
access to update and upload images, everybody.
They can upload it, like, or download it. Like,
No,
yes,
Heather
but they
can't
couldn't.
do that in Ready to Connect. She can't do that in those. She
can't
upload
upload.
into that one? No.
She can upload. She could download it for herself. You're right. Right. It'd have to be like CJ said. It'd have to be in the team drive. The regular team drive. The 1819, all things fast.
Going to be 1920.
I'm not opening that for fast though, because it won't be fast.
She's like, I'm out. Hard pass on that one.
It won't exist. So
No, I feel like, okay, what do you guys think? I'm going to open it up. I think if somebody should manage, I don't know if we should have a separate folder in each group, because then you're right. People are going to upload if they're going to look different. And I don't know if that's the intention. If we're trying to have one folder that contains any images that you find that you think are great and would be helpful for others to use, that's a different scenario. So what do you all think? Kimberly, what do you think? What's your opinion?
I think you could put a Google Docs together and give everyone access to that Google Docs, so then they can just copy and paste the image into the document, because it's a lot easier to give permission for one document versus the entire drive. That's my.
But doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of having the team drive? Like, don't we have the team drive so that everybody could have access to?
No, I mean it would be
not just one.
Yeah, it would be in the team drive, but it's just a document that we could all make an edit to or add a picture to. So it could be in anybody. To my knowledge, it could be in anybody's folder if we all have access to that one document. That was my thought.
Yeah, it could just be in the main area of the 1819 school year, that fast thing. The bottom is just all the random documents. It could just be one of those documents.
Yeah, well, I say we just do, because I don't know if you want just a copy and paste on a Word document. CJ, correct me. I mean, for some of the stuff, it might not be the best quality image. I don't know if we want that.
I would think a folder versus a Word document.
I do too. That's what I'm leaning towards.
With a folder, you just drop the JPEGs into it or the PNGs, and then people can just download them.
So I could make one ginormous Ready, Set, Grow team drive and then have a folder for each one of these things instead of the 3 separate team drives if you want.
Yeah, but the issue, let me ask a question on that. Can anybody, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm thinking too hard. Can anybody go in? So I'm up here now because I have to see things. So right now, we have our Ready, Set, Grow here. Can't we just create another team drive here that everyone has access that just is images?
I certainly could.
Does that make more sense? And that way it's just right here and it's just all of us can upload, download, reload. I'm just kidding. We shouldn't do that. But maybe we just create a team drive for images here.
Sure.
Does that make more sense? Or we could put it in All Things Fast 1819, but that way it's an image folder that if we're moving beyond, when we move beyond fast, it could be a folder that we want to keep somewhere for all of us to have access, because some of the images might be just gloriousness. Maybe it'll just be my picture on the front. Let's do that. Instead of all this, just put Liz's face in the front. I'm
totally going to do that. I'm going to make the image your face.
Just your head.
Don't you dare.
I will make a team drive for images only, and then everybody can have access to that.
You could also do resources too, so then everybody can upload all resources in there.
It's true.
That we can all use and utilize.
So then that takes me right back to, should we just have one for all of these 3 things? Or do you want me to leave the 3 for just the final work? I mean, I think we've overcomplicated it. Just a tad.
Probably. We might have. But let me ask you a question. So each of these things can, right now, there's only certain people that have the ability to edit things or upload things in this group, the Get Ready group. Okay. If we have one team drive, and these all become subsets, basically, of that one team drive, the upload and the editing are for everybody. You can't specify that by a folder.
Correct.
Is that a problem?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't see that it truly is, because I think we're all adults and it's very easily tracked on who has done what and what has been edited. But we typically don't, because it gets squirrely if someone deletes something that belongs to not them. But I think it's certainly doable. I think on this, I think it's definitely more possible on this than it is in our typical team drive, because that is definitely, it's a whole different ballgame. I think these items, these summer committees, certainly could be one big drive and everyone can upload, but no one will, it'll still not be deletable. So everybody can upload and edit. I'll have a deleted folder. And I don't think that's bad for this process.
No, I agree. I'm sorry that you went through doing that as we're thinking through this. I don't think it's bad, or I was just thinking out loud, what are the benefits for us keeping it separate as a separate drive versus one drive that we all have access, that we're all official editing people. I feel like that might be almost, I don't know. I feel like it might be
fine. Mm-hmm. And we'll just have more folders, so it's not so chaotic.
Yeah.
People just sort of dumping in, and that's fine. I can just build one and pull everything over from all of
the people are definitely that's gonna get confusing. I don't know. Like, are these some of these are resources, some of these, so it's already confusing as I just went into here. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree. And like this one has folders, and then another one does not have folders, and another one has different folders. It whatever you want, we can make.
I don't know what I want. But as I'm looking at this, I mean, some of this is, these are just resources that they're going to be using to create the documents.
Right. I think we run into, I think it's the same one way or another, because when I move everything over to one file or one drive, I would make a folder that said "Get Ready," and all this would be dumped in that folder.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's any different. Yeah.
The only thing that changes is the power to upload. So I could take the 3 and change the powers. Like right now, Kimberly does not have the power to upload in the Get Set folder or drive. I could change that so that everybody could upload and edit all 3 things. I still don't think that solves your images issue, though.
No, I think we keep it like it is. I say we have one team drive that's a resource drive. We call it resource. And the idea, because let's not change things. People are starting to use it. I say we keep things as they are, create a team drive that's just as resources, and maybe there is a folder that says images, because I do think we want to keep those a little bit separate from just dumping in like the Add a Learning Coach forms. I think they should be kept a little bit separate from that standpoint to clean that up a little bit.
So I will
like,
make one more team drive that
Yes,
everyone
fine.
can do everything to,
correct.
and it's just for
Call
images.
it resources or summer committee
Resources.
resources. Call it summer committee
And
resources. Yeah.
What you're showing right now are these resources.
Well, this has got to be a resource, an Add a Learning Coach form. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's in here. I don't know what's in here. Free computer touring, help for K-12 videos, links for getting ready, how to set up. I mean, to me,
I just think I don't know which ones to pull over as resources.
I say we don't. I say we just leave things like they are. We'll tell all the committees that we have a resource folder created. If there is anything that you feel would benefit all our committees for the summer, upload it here, and they'll just re-upload it. You know what I mean? They can always re-upload it. And then, but if they find images, like I'm looking here, like I don't know if everyone has the school logo images, the double image, right? I know we have a K-12 image, so I'll work on getting some logos up there because we should have logos on these documents, right? We should not have our logo on some of this stuff. So I'll work on doing some of that. And if we find images like, the only example I'm thinking of is like, for the assessments, Heather, for like some of the, and I'm thinking more logo specific. I don't know how many images we'd really all use together. Do you know?
I imagine there's quite a bit of overlap.
Sorry, I've got an IM coming in from Rana.
I would think we would need the K-12, the new updated K-12 logo on our handouts and things.
Yes. And AZVA Insight, that combo logo is a good thing
Yes.
to have. I think that should be on there too.
If we can get them with the transparent backgrounds, that's better.
Yeah, and if we can do,
clear.
yeah, like for K5, their little logo, BL Hubs, their logo. So those kinds of things would be those images that we would probably want to capture and upload into something. So yeah, I say let's just do that. Let's just put a resource folder here. We'll send the word that if they have, so one folder, but let's create a folder for just images, clip art, images, whatever we call it, right? But these are going to be images that are can be used across the board, and any summer committee might need access to some of these images. And then it could also be if you have videos that could be used across, like let's say somebody's doing a TED Talk videos that could be applied across multiple things, right? I don't know if there is or not, but if there is, we could have, like maybe you create a document like what Julie created with all those helpful K-12 videos.
All right, I will get on that after this.
That makes sense? Shoshana, I heard your voice. Did you have a question, love?
I did, but never mind. You answered it already.
I did? Okay. I hope so. Okay. I think that'll be helpful. Sorry, Daisha. I hope that doesn't irritate you.
Nope, not a bit.
Create resource Google Drive that we all have access. Team Drive, resource Team Drive to upload images, videos, etc. that can be used across committees. Okay. Heather, you needed the assessment windows for district testing, right? I have those assessment windows. That was for you?
No, that would be for
I'll look and see.
Kimberly, right? Or Shauna.
Yeah, I'm the state testing.
I will send that over to you. Liz to email Kimberly. I have that. I just want to look at it real quick and make sure it's clear. Okay. I have that. I'll email that to you, the state testing window.
Perfect.
Okay.
Am I doing district testing too?
No. Liz and Daisha are.
Okay.
I'll email myself. That's what this assessment, this is to Liz and to Daisha. By the way, I've done nothing, Daisha, on this, so you and I will have to chat a little bit later, potentially. Sound okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So Kimberly, how are you? I loved your little infographic thing, by the way. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
How are other things going with that? I have to get you the testing window. Let me do that.
And the testing coordinator, if you could give me her name,
Absolutely.
the new one, or the assistant, the Laura or whoever it was, either one will probably fine. I don't know if the new one is up to date on every.
She was definitely finishing up the school year because she was a high school English teacher.
Everything.
She is going to go ahead.
But yeah, that would be good. Just so I think some of our team members might have already answered some of these questions that I've posed in maybe a s'more that they sent out throughout the year.
Okay. Did we have that? I thought we had a list of resources of all the s'mores that we had. Was that something I dreamed that somebody sent an email about? Apparently I have been dreaming.
Yeah. Some emails went through. I think Robert sent one requesting some s'mores about something, but we actually don't have a collaborative spot for s'mores. So I'm hoping maybe mention it, that resource folder. That would be a great spot to put all s'mores. So if everybody could just drop their s'mores into that. Or yeah, because it's
I think you could only going to be able to do I don't think you're going to be able to oh, you mean do a PDF of the s'more?
Yeah, because that was one of our checkout pieces, was to take all our s'mores and put them into PDF. So PDF of their s'mores. And maybe that's not.
You're going to have to be very cautious with how you request all s'mores be put in there, because I don't think you want everybody's newsletters.
Yeah, no.
Heather's got me. Yeah, so I think we need to be cautious with how we request all s'mores be put in there.
More like resources or anything that you send to
Or
family.
like Strong Start, don't you think?
Yeah, Strong Start.
I think there's only one. There's only the one, because it was one that was created and sent to all families. And I can certainly put that in there.
Yeah. CJ, what about you? Did you have anything that you have for your...
I've got a few, yeah.
Yeah, but would they have like resources and tools for families?
Nothing that other people don't have, no.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen the ones I uploaded to Grow, but they're ones that I worked on over this past year. And there's about 5 to 7 different ones, and it's learning coaches tips to success. And so each one focuses on a different area for success.
Okay. And what about testing? Did you have any in regards to testing?
I don't have anything regarding testing.
I don't think our team in general did.
I feel like our team does too, because I know they had to have sent something out.
Oh no, I don't think we do.
I think we had like communications, like I know in newsletters that I've sent out to my families, there's more that I've had like communication regarding testing, but nothing as far as like a resource or a tip specifically related to testing.
It's usually very broad.
Yeah.
Like eat breakfast.
Pretty much. I had stuff up on the website specifically regarding testing, and some of it was school specific, but a lot of it was coming from the ADE, like helping families understand the tests a little bit. And again, more tips and like, eat breakfast.
Okay. Then I'll put it together and just bring it to everyone here. And then if you guys see something needs to be added, we can.
Okay, sounds good. I just sent an email too while you were talking, Kimberly, to the testing coordinators and sent you their names as well, so you have their names.
Perfect.
Okay, so Deja, I do have the assessment windows, so I will get those and you and I can chat a little bit about what that might look like for us for the district testing piece. Heather and Shoshana were working on a Fancify department specific? Like what are the work samples, teacher graded assignments, Stride, Padlet, things like that? How's that going, you guys?
Well, Shoshana and I haven't really coordinated on that, but I have started working on it, and I kind of stopped because I wasn't quite sure what you wanted. So I did a couple infographics. For example, I did one for Tumble Books. I did one for, I mean, if you want to pull them up and take a quick look
at them. Yeah.
Yeah. I put them all in there, and then I got crazy and I just did an Ovalle drop because everything was everywhere. So like the first two
Thank you.
are two that I just created.
Oh, this is good, sweetie.
So it's just kind of like the basics of what a student needs to do.
I am so in love with these infographic things.
Aren't they the best? Yeah.
They are. So much, so easy, so chunky. Just, I love them.
This is awesome. This looks really, really good.
Thank you.
ECQ.
What's ECQ?
ECQ. Clear, concise, and quick.
Well, it wasn't quick, but it wasn't quick to make, but it was.
Not for you, babe, for your readers.
Right. Right.
What did you use, Heather?
That program that Kimberly has.
Gotcha.
So this is the Weebly website, and it has, you know, how to meet the teachers and all their biographies by grade level. So that one is kind of a combination of pictures and widgets that were already in the program.
Yeah.
I would do a darker text on that one.
I was
Heather.
about to say the one feedback is on the Weebly website that you have listed. Change that to a white font because it's a little difficult to read against that purple background.
And this is for you to send to your team, right?
Well, I was going
or your students. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it could be used for the students, I think, but it was kind of geared towards teaching the advisors, right?
Resources the advisors can use.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the POC is. Who would the POC be?
Oh, I just put that on there because I created it, and if they had questions, they could ask me about it.
Okay.
I mean, I can certainly take that off.
Yeah, because I think this would be something that if I was an advisor and I saw this, I'd be like, oh, this is fantastic, but I would want my POC I want to customize this for me. Does that make sense?
Right.
Can we do that? We can't do that, can we?
No. Not unless you go in and make it yourself. Or I go in and put your information in there.
Yeah, but you're not. No, we don't need to do that for all the advisors.
But I think she's saying this is to train the advisors, right? Not to train the families.
Right.
Well, no, is it?
But it could be. It could actually be used either.
I would think this is something.
Take off the. Yeah,
just
I think this is
used for both.
Yeah, I think that this is something you would want to. What's your word elementary there? I would think that this is something. Like an advisor should already know these steps, right? An advisor will know these steps. Okay. This to me is a document that we're sending out to families to make sure they understand how to go to the Weebly and meet their teachers, yada, yada.
Okay.
Or more importantly, how to get to the work samples, right? That's what we want with this is how to find your teacher, your content teacher. Maybe we change that to content teacher because we want them to meet you too, right?
Right.
But you're that important piece of them. So
we will be in there.
On the Weebly?
Yep.
So we may want to look at that depending on how they retool this. I love this. I think it's beautiful. I feel like what we want to do is maybe key this in on, because I think the Meet the Teachers is going to look a little different, I feel like. Because is there going to be, by grade level, they're going to have the advisor name? That's not going to work.
Well, it might be a different advisor
tab. They saw the meeting we just had.
The way they do the interventionist is they list her every time they work with that grade band. So all the second grade teachers and the interventionist for second grade is there, but that same interventionist is also in the third grade her name is also in the 4th grade. So it still links to her bio, but she's in the different grades. Does that make sense? So if Heather's an advisor for kindergarten and 1st grade, for whatever reason, she may be placed in kindergarten lineup and
Weebly.
1st grade lineup. Yeah.
Okay.
Just so that the parent can see in one visual. And I could be lying because maybe they'll change their mind and do it something different. That's
Well, I went down a rabbit
yeah.
hole on this. I feel like we should take the POC off and maybe we just put the Weebly email link there. I don't know. Maybe we just change what that looks like. Instead of go to up here, maybe we put that as the main POC. I don't know if you want your name in there because the teachers shouldn't need this. This would be, to me, something that goes out to the families to teach them how to use the Weebly, basically, is what we're doing it, so that it would allow them to find their work samples and everything like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I can do that. So then do you want, because the bios are on Weebly, do you still want me to find out who your teacher is on this document, or do you want that completely different, its own thing?
I think it'd still be good. And maybe it says your teachers and advisors. Maybe you throw in that with it. I don't know. But I still think it's good. They need to meet their teachers.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, do you want me to keep it here with this Weebly document, this how-to Weebly document, or do you want a separate document that says meet your teachers and advisors?
I think it's fine here.
Okay.
Does anybody else have an opinion? Yeah, I think it's fine. I just think you tweak it with meet your advisor and your teachers.
Okay.
I think you just do it that way.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I would say you just do it that way. Yeah, I think it's minor tweaks on it. I think it looks great.
I love them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I have another one in there for Tumble Books.
there it is.
Yeah.
Look how cute that is.
I mean, I didn't really know what. Thanks, Kimberly.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's great. And I guess this is another great resource to send out to families, right?
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we just take your name off. I know, because I don't know because to me, I would be sending this out to my families. Oh, Tumble Books, you got a question about Tumble Books? Here you go. This is everything you need to know. Look at this. It's such a beautiful thing. Seriously, I love it.
Yeah,
Thank
I think
you.
it's very nice.
Yeah,
But yeah,
thank
if
you.
you don't want emails from every single K-5 family, you might want to take off
Yeah, I
your
would think you might want to take off your email. Yeah, I would think you. This is so funny. I'm sorry. I'm just starting to watch The Office. I snorted a little bit. Yeah, that
I'm
looks
glad
great.
you're finally coming on board with The Office. I
I
remember you
know.
mentioning you hadn't
Oh
seen
man,
it.
yeah. It's
Dwight
like
is the best.
constantly running in my house at this point with my older son home, so it's like always on TV. I'm like, yeah, I'm drawn in at this point in time.
Wait till you get to the wedding episode. It's the
I
best.
just saw it.
I was gonna say it was just on.
Yeah, I just saw it. Anyhow, okay.
So
Very
is this
cool.
the kind of stuff that you want for all of these things? I mean, that's why I was asking about
Yeah.
the Raz Kids login
So
and all the other logins that we had talked about, because I can't just, extra math, I can't just go in and log in. I don't have
No, and I think that would be tough for you to talk to them. Like Tumble Books, I think that was beautiful on Tumble Books.
Thank
I
you.
really think it was great. I don't know, I feel like, do you have the tools and resources to be able to do I'm slurring right now, to be able to do the same things with like Raz Kids, Extra Math, Spelling City? Can you create something similar for those things?
I could if I had access.
Okay.
How many
Let
do
me
you,
see what I can do.
do you just get the three templates, Heather? Was that what you were given?
Yeah, it gave me up to 5 templates, but if you delete a template after you've completed it, then you can get another one.
Okay, yeah. So then
'Cause
you
it
can
comes
pull a
with-
copy of it and then delete it. Yeah.
Right.
Could
And
you
I-
make one for like multiple things so you didn't have to have a separate one for each one?
Well, I
And
could.
maybe we don't need it for all of this. I mean, do we need it for all of these things? Like Padlet. I don't think do we need it for Padlet?
No, because that would be a
Okay.
training for the advisors, not the
Okay,
families,
perfect.
in theory.
Yeah. Do we need it for Raz Kids, do we think?
I think so.
Or family?
Yeah, that's
Can also-
for families.
I've done a step-by-step tutorial on Raz Kids several times with families, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that."
So I think Raz
just
Kids
click
could
the
be a
buttons.
great info. I think that could you create an infographic for Raz Kids?
I could if I had a login.
Okay. I thought you had step-by-step instructions already. I'm sorry, I'm not following. And it's not like I'm afraid to get you a login. I just don't know if I'm going to get a login.
Right. No, when I say I've done step-by-step instructions, I mean I physically, shared my desktop with a family and gone
And
through
you,
it live
you had their logins.
and logged in their
Gotcha.
student account, page by page. Yeah.
Okay. So if I was going to highlight some of these, I would feel like Raz Kids would be an important one,
Okay.
right?
Right.
What else? What other ones here are ones that would be very beneficial for a family to have as a K? And these are more K-5 specific, right?
Right.
Which one is Spelling City? Spelling City is really for DI and right? I don't think that's for all families, is it?
No, that's not for all families. Extra math is only 3rd grade from what I understand.
So maybe we don't need to do that all for all of them. What do you guys think?
I think you're right. I think like work samples, TGAs, small groups, live class, like some of those lend themselves to be one sort of infographic page that sort of just gives the parents a real quick, like, what is this? I mean, I think you could combine some of those, like help in office hours, that one page to kind of give to a family.
And I like that we're keeping it to like 5 steps or fewer.
Yeah.
Anything more than that bogs them down.
Yeah.
So like Stride, I mean, do we need to talk about Stride for our families? I would like to talk about it for some of the kids that had like 5,000 hours in Stride and like 0 hours in math, but that's a whole
Right.
other conversation.
Right. Oh yeah, that drives me
Stride
crazy.
would be a decent one though, because it is used pretty often. So it wouldn't be bad to have its own Stride page.
And maybe it's more important that the families understand this is an option. Maybe it's more Stride is, you're going to see Stride on your schedule, but Stride isn't a requirement, right? Stride is supplemental materials for a learning coach to know that. Agree
For
or
most
disagree?
teachers. Some teachers it was required.
Right.
A certain number of hours or all the assignments in Stride? See, I wish they would just standardize. Why you have some, it drives me absolutely crazy. At least by grade level, make it a requirement. Let's not just have, but maybe that happens in brick and mortar too. Maybe we just need to.
I don't know. I think that Stride it's a great program. It's a pain in the ass because it's all video games, and that's what the kids are going to do very first thing every day. Oh yeah, I'm going to do my Stride first thing. Do your work, That's the frustrating thing for me with the Stride.
Well, it's not just the order in which they're doing it. Some of the kids are just not doing their work so they can play video games on Stride.
Right.
So I don't know how to change that other than articulate the purpose of Stride, even though it might be required for some teachers. I feel like maybe we say that it's required by some teachers, but Stride is an optional supplemental way to not only does it help for students that aren't mastering, right? It also helps students that master quickly to help grow in that lesson. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes.
So maybe it's more just talking about what Stride is so that a learning coach, because at the end of the day, the learning coach is going to need to really address, because, if a learning coach sees their kid on the computer and all they're doing is playing Stride, they're not attending school.
Right.
So maybe it comes down to where we really talk about Stride in in a way that helps the learning coach understand this isn't school, this is something to help supplement your current schooling. What do you guys think about that? I see some head shakes.
It needs to be said. I've just like everybody else, I've had this same conversation with families that showing up for Class Connects, completing your lessons, take priority over Stride. Stride is what you do after all of those things are done.
Yeah.
And that could be an easily solved problem. That could be one of those, online Zoom, Blackboard courses. Come work on Stride with me if you can show me a picture of your completed work today. Or, that could be something that we sort of train them the ninja style without them realizing we're training them.
Yeah.
Kind of fun time to do that. And I think we're going to, like Heather said, we're going to talk to them about it nonstop.
Yeah. So we don't need extra math or Spelling City, correct? Stride, we might need something, but extra math and Spelling City, are we saying we probably don't need a general? Because I think that's going to be more specific based on the student, correct?
Well, Spelling City is SPED.
Right.
And then extra math and Padlet is 3rd grade. They are required to do those in 3rd grade.
Padlet is, do we need to teach families about Padlet, or do we need to teach the advisors about Padlet? I'll add that back in.
The advisors.
Okay.
So whomever the 3rd grade advisor is going to be,
yeah,
they need to be familiar with Padlet, and they need to be familiar with extra math.
Right. So
and
we're going to...
all of the advisors will get that training, because all advisors are going to be advised to use Padlet as a way to, again, connect with the kids, bring them in, and sort of ninja style train the kids on how to do Padlet by default, because I'll be doing it with the advisors as well.
Okay, so back to my original question then. Am I making these for the advisors, or am I making these for the families?
The families. All of this is for families. So this is all information that we are going to be able to, as an advisor, utilize to send that information to the family. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. That's the goal of this.
Okay. Now I get it.
Okay. Yeah, it's really more of a tool that you can utilize to send and educate your family on a topic, is really what we're looking at.
Okay.
So then I don't know if we really need, I feel like if you've got a student that has extra math or Spelling City as an advisor, you should understand that. You'll be trained on it. And if you need additional, we can always develop the materials. I don't know if we need something specific on those. What do you guys agree, disagree?
I actually have never gone into those programs.
Neither
I just know that, from an engagement perspective, if they said students not doing Spelling City, well, then I would have to include that on my bot, so
I don't think it would hurt to have one if we had the wherewithal to, or resources to make one.
So we need to get access to, so I'm going to send an email right now to Sherry. Is it just Sherry, or is Spelling City Special Education? Who would have access to that?
Sarah and Sherry. Maybe Witted. Nicole.
Okay. Spelling City, would it help to have Raz Kids?
Yes.
Raz Kids, extra math, and that's it, right?
Right.
Okay, I just started that. So I will I'll send an email out to them and ask for some kind of general access, demo access. We really don't need a whole lot. We just need like a demo access or something like that.
Right.
And they may have some flyers too that they've already created.
Yep.
Or
sounds good. Okay. All right, we are running out of time. Sorry. Shoshana, do you want to give an update on this?
Sure. First of all, my apologies, Heather, because I completely forgot that we were supposed to be working on that together. So.
Oh no, it's fine.
All good.
So for mine, I have not uploaded anything yet because unlike Heather and Kimberly, I do not have any artistic talents. Aside from, well, no, I don't have any artistic talents, but I don't.
Okay, here's the deal, Shauna.
Christine.
Just feed me the information and I'll create it for you.
No, I can create it. I work better under pressure. I think that's actually why I've waited to upload something, because I actually do I do have an infographic
Great.
designed. I haven't actually created it, but I've designed it on Word-ish with like the information that I want to put in there, because, give me a paragraph, I can write it, just ask me to throw in pictures. I don't know how to do that. I can draw you a stick figure of things though. So I do have that, and then I already have written out what I would like to put on a s'more, just haven't put the s'more together. As far as videos, I did have a question regarding that, however.
Okay.
Some of the videos that in my mind I would use as far as growing academically, how do I know that my child is growing academically, some of those videos would be things like how to check progress, how to enter attendance. Those are videos that we already have. Do
Yes.
we need to redo those, or can I just utilize the links that we already currently have? Hopefully that question made sense.
It did make sense, and I feel like we shouldn't reinvent the wheel. I say that we look at the videos, make sure they're what we want to say, right? That we want to say that to the families, and if we can use them, then we probably create some kind of document or something.
Because I was thinking of putting that in the s'more that I would create with having those links to those videos.
Yeah.
As
we're also doing, isn't Julie doing that in the other? See, I need CJ and Daisha because my brain doesn't function.
Well, because the list that Julie posted in the team drive, that is a list that I think actually was sent out to the whole entire team at the beginning of the school year, because it was when we were doing all of our onboarding training. So I already have that list of things.
Yeah, I would say yes, that would be totally appropriate to put together a s'more to be able to have a quick little, how can my child grow academically? So yes, I think that would be totally appropriate. Just review the videos, make sure they're still accurate, make sure it makes sense, and that it's great, you don't have to change, because some of the videos may be K-5 specific. Just make sure we know what audience is intended for, what grade level.
Right. And so then that kind of leads me into a secondary question when it comes to actually verifying the growth. I know back eons ago when I used to be a learning coach with my nephew when he was in 4th grade, I remember that his teacher mentioned to me at the time, so monitoring his growth was he should be making about 3% progress each week in his courses. Is it for the different schools, elementary, middle school, high school? What is the specific progress that they're looking for usually?
Great question. I'm just going to show you what I just was in this meeting that we were just at. Give me a second. I have to open it up and find it. Where was that?
While you're looking for that, Shoshana, be cautious using s'more, because if we lose access to s'more, then you lose access to your s'more.
You won't lose access. You're just gonna, access is going to change. So, and I gotta get that finalized.
And you can't go from PDF to s'more without still building another s'more.
I can always create it in Word and then change it into a PDF. I'm cool with that. I don't. Yeah.
Where is it? Give me a second. I said, oh no. Oh my goodness gracious. Sorry guys, I know it's here. I just have to figure out where.
Well, Kimberly, with what I was just talking about for this s'more, I'm not sure if DesignCap will allow me to include live links to things, will it? I've only used DesignCap once because I don't have any artistic capabilities.
It allows you to put them in because you don't have the paid subscription. I usually attach the link as a photograph and like an email to the student. So that's what they would have to do. But you could always, copy and paste the link into it as well. But I like the idea of a s'more too. It really is a great tool, especially for resources like this.
I'm going to try to
S'more I
figure
can
out
do. S'more is
s'more
easy
by
for me
the end of this week. I just have to get Kelly how we want this structured, and I should be able to get, it won't be, you'll be the first one. If we have a K-5 advisor s'more link, you'll be the first one that I create. I promise. In fact, you know what I should do is, I better not. Let me just confirm with Kelly how she wants that.
Because I would love to do it in S'more, because
Yes.
S'more I actually, since I sent out a S'more every single week to my students,
Yeah,
I actually
you're
got
good
good
at
at it.
Yeah.
So I
Get
can
it.
do S'more.
Yeah.
Don't challenge my capabilities.
Did Kelly say that they were going to be creating a planner for all the kids? Because I know they do them for the BLCs.
Not to my knowledge, no. There's talk. There's always talk. I've not heard that is definitively going to happen.
How fabulous would it be for these handouts to be part of that planner that the student gets at the beginning of the year?
Be fabulous.
What is a planner?
Like a student planner.
Yeah,
Like
they
a day,
have
like a
some
day
of the-
planner or an agenda.
Yeah, and some of those planners, they have some pages that they insert throughout the planner, right? Don't they? Okay.
Some do, yes. Yeah. But that would be fabulous.
Okay. Yes. I'll add that to notes. I wanted to go through back to the question of how do we know what growth is? I'm going to tell you, this was just presented at the K-12 meeting on, this is kind of the escalations that advisors are going to need to understand. So in their mind, a student is not growing academically if they're failing 2 or more AM, OM, HS courses, or they're 10% or below their OLS progress expectations.
Say that one more time.
So that would be the caveats to look for. I think that's going to be tough on a week-to-week basis when you look at the online middle school, high school, because their grades vary widely. That's a whole other topic of conversation. But I do think you can say if you're failing 2 or more of your courses as a middle school, high school student, you are not growing. And if you're below 10% in your expected progress. So I feel like we can use those 2 things because that's from K-12. That's what they're going to be looking to measure growth. I will say growth for our schools and our students is really going to be measured on that NWEA assessment from what I've heard, but the families aren't going to care about that, right?
Right.
So that's not for the families to know. The families need to understand if you're not growing academically, you're going to be escalated in supports because we want to make sure you grow academically. So does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So that was one thing. So we wanted to add in here, Heather, Liz needs to learn how to spell. You wanted to just, what did you just say, Heather?
Oh, so like a student planner or a student agenda? I mean, we could include these infographic handouts, these s'mores, these everything in there as a valuable resource tool right in their hands.
Yeah, I just need to see who's in charge of that and if we can get in, because you're absolutely correct. They should be included. And, for even the BL hubs, if we miss the deadline, I don't know how quickly they print those, but I will look into that because that's a grand idea. Yeah.
And that might be one infographic that showcases some key things, but because they wouldn't get all of our things, it would just be like one major one, I would imagine.
Well, I
There's
think
a
we would pick
handful I
and
could
choose.
think of. Yeah.
If they say you've got 4 spots that you can take
Right,
in our
that's my
thing,
point.
we would just pick which ones we would include.
Yeah, because they're not going to
The
print
ones
off
that are
all of
most
them.
valuable. No, because there'll be, and I don't even know. I haven't seen the planners recently. I saw them a
Right.
couple of years ago. Are they printed in color? Do you remember?
It was like a I want to say either like a mint green and a white or a mint or a light blue and a white or something.
But the pages inside are all black and white, right?
For the
Or where
most
there's-
part, yeah.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, we'll look at that because they're still valuable. But don't forget that if for a family, it's great to have the colors, and if you're looking at them live, it's wonderful. But we also should make sure that if these infographics we're creating are printed out on black and white, that the color, that everything still looks good. Does that make sense?
Right.
So make sure you look at that before you we need to make sure that if we're looking at this and we're printing in black and white, that it still looks as beautiful as it does in a colored version. Okay.
So for the sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Go ahead.
No, so as far as my section, like I said, really at this point, the only thing I need to do is slap everything into either a s'more infographic and then pull videos. That's pretty much all that's left.
And the other big thing is to really, what's your backup plan? Yeah, that's got to be something and that might be a video. I don't know what that's going to look like. Go ahead, hon.
So then that leads me to another question, because I do have information that I have written down. Like I said, I've written down everything, or typed it out. But so am I putting that, is all of this going together? Like if I were to create one s'more, or if I were to create a s'more, is all of it going into one s'more and then that being a section of the s'more? Or would that be something, a completely different item for what's the backup plan?
That's a great question. What do you guys think? That's a great question, because I think you could do either.
Because in my mind, I would think that it would be part of the same s'more, only because, I mean, it's a pretty, this might sound slightly upfront, but it's a pretty upfront and straightforward question. Like, what is your backup plan if you're not doing what needs to be done?
Yeah. If you're failing more than two classes.
You're not growing academically. What's your backup plan, but maybe what we need to include, and Daisha, you were at that meeting, but maybe what we need to include is if you're not growing academically, include information, and that's more about the resources that our school will provide for your family, right? That should probably go in there. And if you still don't take advantage of these resources, you really need to follow up with that. You really need to look and make sure and analyze what your backup plan is, because the only thing we care about is you growing in your academics.
Yeah, what's like that bottom line kind of fact is, if we provide all this and you're still seeing this and you don't think this, what is your backup plan? Yeah, I like it all in one s'more.
I have only got screenshots from a Blackboard meeting I was just at. So bear with me. I'm going to try to get the PowerPoint presentation that was just given, because I need to digest and wrap my brain around some of the content that was in that. So let me digest that, and I will get you what support should be provided if a student is not showing academic, if there's an alert or something like that on their academics.
Okay.
That's a great tool for us, or a great way for us to show this was provided, or this will be provided, another little cover our tail, but also let the parents know that we're doing things.
Yep.
How you have Shannon's name right there, but I was for this bottom one, that high school, and the only reason is because I was actually going to take that on too as part of what I was doing. However, I know that last week we mentioned that Shannon was actually doing something that kind of would answer this question, and so I was just waiting on whatever it is that she's responding. I don't remember what it is that she's working on, but whatever she is doing for her section, I believe it's in the first part, that this probably would just be a simple handout. I don't know that a s'more would need to be made. Mated, that's not a word. If a s'more would need to be made.
Well, it is, but
improved.
I don't know if it's appropriate in this context. Yeah, so Shannon's been out. I feel like she's moving. I feel like her house all got done and everything like that. So she's moving. So she is off she'll be back next week. So we can, we'll touch base with her next week. But yes, I agree. I think you should wait until we find out what she has created and developed before you go and spend a lot of wheels on that one. Okay. CJ, you were going to do Destinations Academy. Key in on freshmen and middle school advisors. Oh, they're the advisor levels because of the grade level that's at Destination Academy. Okay.
Yes, I found the presentation. I just need to verify some things.
And then RISE, you're going to do RISE too, right?
Yeah, I know it says content is already developed.
Because we had that
Big presentation.
we had a huge presentation from Bushra. I wouldn't say, I think the content is there. I don't think the format is what we need. We do not need a presentation like that. So I would reach out to Bushra or to Becky Supras. No,
Becky.
I would do Becky. Because Becky's runs the RISE program, basically. I mean, Bushra runs it, but Monty does do the ALP.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Is Bushra for RISE and Marcia for ALP.
Perfect. Good. And then we're not gonna, I say, can we hold off on growing your community again? Because we're already at 3:00. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. I would like to put on the calendar, and we don't have it in here, but I'd like to, and I did with the other teams, is to create a weekly meeting through the summer that if you're on vacation, obviously you don't have to come to. We'll record it. You can listen to the recordings. The goal of all of this is to have everything done by July 17th. So the idea is if we have a weekly meeting, we'll just do kind of weekly checks to see how things are going, see what support, if we've got stuff up that we need to do. If you're not here, I'm not expecting you to log in if you're on vacation, right? But we could set up a regular weekly meeting. Everything, if you're on vacation and you're on vacation from like end of June till July 17th, you just need to make sure your stuff is done before you leave. Does that make sense? Because I really want to be able to come back on July 17th and showcase this. The idea would be on July 17th, when we come back, and maybe before, depending on how things get developed, is that we will have the ability to take a look at all this and really determine at that point, what is our vehicle to get this to the advisors? What is our training going to look like, right? Because we're going to need to train the advisors on how to use these tools, in my opinion, to a certain extent. So that would be what we would look for after July 17th. So I'd like to look in doing that. I know it's a little bit sketch with some of the meeting times. So is there, I know we've got reading club on Tuesdays and Thursdays that CJ is going to be affected. So I'd like to stay clear of Tuesday, Thursdays. So I'm going to pick Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I feel like Wednesdays we've got some other stuff going on that we're going to be doing. So I feel like maybe a Monday or a Friday. So why don't we pick Friday for our regular weekly meeting? Does that sound okay?
I was hoping for Monday, but maybe that's just me.
Monday's fine. We can do Monday.
I was kind of hoping for Monday too.
That's fine. Monday's fine. The only issue is I want to start it next week, so we might not have a whole lot. It might be a really quick meeting this first week if we do it this Monday. Not a big deal, but we can do just a quick check-in on Monday because I'll just start them putting those on the calendar for Mondays. Is that okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so regular meetings on Mondays. Okay. Perfect. So I will put that on our schedule. So we have a regular weekly meeting through. I will tell you, I'm off the last week of June, the first week of July, like that July 4th. So I may set the meeting up and then cancel it, just so you know. I probably will still, I don't think on the week of July 4th, I'm going to be doing that. But so we all might get a break from each other on the week of July 4th if you're around and not planning on taking vacation. Sound okay? Awesome. All right. I feel like that was it. Let me know if you guys need anything. I really appreciate your guys' help, support, all that other good stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's about these presentations that you want us to do. So, for example, you wanted me to do one on Powtoon.
Yes. That's an aside, but yes.
Yes, well, this is an aside question.
Yes. Perfect. I want to see who's in the room because I'm like, I haven't told anybody about this.
Oh.
That's good.
Well, I saw everyone's name on that email.
You're good. Go ahead. So Powtoons. Yep.
Okay. So you just want me to create a video, or do you want me to create a training session where I'm physically teaching?
I want you to physically teach somebody like me who really has had limited experience. I can pretend to use Powtoon, but I am not what I would consider a true Powtoon user.
Okay.
So, and I would think that probably at least 80% of our team is probably in the same position I'm in regarding Powtoon. So the idea would be to have a training that you're going to provide.
Okay.
to the team to teach them how to use Powtoon. And then my goal is going to be that everybody goes, and the homework that they do from that training is that they have to go create something that they're going to use for their class. You know what I mean? So create a Powtoon video on something, whatever that might be that you feel would be helpful for your students. Maybe it's to introduce yourself, whatever that looks like.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
You okay with that?
Oh yeah. I've already
Perfect.
started working on it. So in Prezi.
Good. Fantastic. So you're going to do Prezi. I think Daisha was going to duke you over for a Prezi, but we might want to do Padlet and Prezi together. What do you think?
She's not training Prezi. She's doing her training in Prezi for
you are
Powtoon.
so funny.
Yes.
I missed that.
That, of course she did. Of
That
course
is
she did.
just a riot.
Right. So I'm using Prezi to teach Powtoon.
Perfect. Wonderful.
easier.
I love it. Love it.
I think my session goes before hers, so I'll teach Prezi for Prezi.
So Shoshana, okay, what we're doing, I don't want to talk behind your back here, Shoshana. We're going to have like some of these key tools that some of our team has been using this year. We're going to have on Wednesdays these training sessions during the summer where people, again, if you're on vacation, if you don't need to come, we'll record them. But if you're not on vacation, you're going to come. We're going to learn a little bit. Heather's been gracious enough to do training on Powtoons, and then we're going to apply that into something that you might be able to utilize. So, I'm afraid to see what the chat is. Might use Powtoon to teach Prezi. That's hysterical. So that's one of the things for the summer that we are going to roll out. So we've got Powtoon, we've got Padlet, we've got Prezi. I forget what Kimberly. Oh, Kimberly's going to do infographics. So yeah. So I think it'll be good resources and tools for everybody. So that's what the spoiler alert is. I really need to get that meeting on the schedule.
Sorry, I didn't mean to let the cat out of the bag.
No, you're all good. It's all good.
I feel like it was news to me.
It might have been news to you too. I don't know. Were you involved, CJ?
Clearly not. I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge that I'm grateful that I'm in fact not teaching something. And if I do, I will use Canva to teach PowerPoint.
I know, but we have to pay for Canva, so we can't just gonna have Canva to teach PowerPoint.
I'm gonna use Canva to teach PowerPoint.
That's so funny.
We could like get it really set up cleverly where she uses Prezi to teach Canva and then I use Canva to teach this. We'll just get it all in.
Don't forget Animoto and
I know.
Filmora.
We're gonna use
Animoto to teach
We're going to use Animoto to teach people how to save Word documents as PDFs.
Oh my gosh, you guys are cracking me up. Anyhow. Well, all right, my friends. I appreciate you guys very